Great evening to everyone and a happy, amazing Tuesday. Listen, it is a She's More Now Connectional resource. You know, we do this monthly where we bring in some amazing men and women of God that can actually empower us in ways. Because listen, what is my motto? We do it better together. So come on, I'm going to give you a few moments to come on in the room. As you're coming in the room, say hello. Hey, Nashe, how are you? Come on, like and share this as you're coming in. I am going to head over to my page now and share it. Listen, you don't want to miss this. Hey, make sure you got your notebook here. Tag Melissa and Janella. And we are going to have this amazing conversation. This is going to be an actual kind of joy, kind of chill conversation. Listen, I got my big sister in the room. So we're just going to talk. Hey, Aunt Jackie, come on in the room. How are you? Y'all come on in the room and say hello as you're coming in. And we're going to have an amazing chat this evening. Hey, Janella. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Melissa. I am sharing it now. Just share. Thank you all for sharing. Hope you've had an amazing day. Thank you, Janella. Yep, I'm still celebrating all day. Don't you worry. I'm celebrating. Y'all don't know I done cried half the day. I don't know why I'm in the season of weeping, but you know, I've been crying all day. But guess what? It's tears of joy. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I am so grateful and so happy. And so we're going to give people a few more. Lynn says, hey, Pastor Shelley. Yep. And so I'm going to introduce her, and you got your notebook. That's right, Shay. You got your notebook. And so listen, as you always know, we bring this platform together so that we can actually bring a wealth of information, a wealth of resources. So listen, we can touch every aspect of our being so that we can all grow together. And most of all, we can all win together. Listen, I don't have to compete with you. I don't have to judge you. We ain't got to be bouncing it, but we can grow together. We can expand together, and we can reach the world together. And so listen, I'm about to unmute my big sister. I want you guys to welcome Pastor Shelley to the line. I see they all in the comments saying, hey, Pastor Shelley, she is here. There she is. She is here. And if y'all know, y'all saw that picture, we look good on that flyer, didn't we? I'm sorry, we look good. We look good. She switched up her color on me, though, but we look good on that flyer, though. But listen, I am super excited because many of us, we have struggled in the areas of believing in ourselves. We have struggled in those areas. We question ourselves. I told y'all earlier today, sometimes you just need to look at yourself and say, I am enough. I mean, you just need to look at yourself and just say, I am enough. Even if you don't think it, you need to just look at yourself and say, I am enough. And so I look at Melissa. Hey, Melissa. Eric. Hey, Dr. Eric Holmes. How are you? We are in the room and we are ready, super excited to have this conversation. And so listen, we're talking about restoration. Oftentimes, the reason why we doubt ourselves is because we ain't been restored. We're so broken. We're so damaged. We doubt ourselves because of stuff we know we did. Other people know we did. Shame, judgment, and everything. So listen, I bought reinforcements tonight. Hey, Yolanda, how are you? I bought reinforcements tonight, and it's going to be a chat. Don't be ashamed. If you want to have any question you want to ask, anything you want to pop up, listen. We're ready. We're ready to chat. We're ready to talk to you. And if we don't know, guess what? We are so humble to tell you, oh, I don't know too much about that. We ain't going to make nothing up. We ain't going to conjure nothing up. But we just going to share this moment in space. Hey, Maddie Pooh, how are you? Love you. Tamika, my best friend is on. Hey, Brigitte, how are you? And so listen, Pastor Shelley, when we talk about restoration and we talk about the struggle of getting back to you and actually being able to see more than your failure, or see more than where you messed up, or see more than where you dropped the ball. Oh no, look at it. She coming back on. But listen, she's going to come back on. This the devil. We done got dropped off and everything. But anyway, as we begin to think about that, I want you all to put yourself in a space where you actually begin to think about where it is that you stop believing in yourself, where it is that you stop. There she go. I told you, don't worry, she was coming. Where you stop believing in yourself, where you actually went through that struggle. What would be the first thing you tell somebody as they begin to embrace this restoration and believe in themselves, what would be the first thing that you would tell them?
I think the first thing that I would tell them first, thank you, Dr. Siobhan, my sister Shavana. I'm so excited to be with you tonight and just to dialogue with you as we move into this next realm. For women are shining all over the world, and I just keep saying it, and I'm so super excited because it's our time, it's our season, and we've got to show up. So I'm excited about it. But
Yes.
I think that to answer your question, I think that I would encourage women, during seasons of restoration, to first acknowledge the fact that it happened, but I'm not what happened to me. Okay. I think it's so important for us to identify the areas that we might have fallen, we might have failed, we might have got slipped up, we might have got caught up. But then how do you progress from that? How do you move forward from that? How do you bounce back from that? There is nothing that's fatal that can keep you in that place unless you want to stay there. And so for me, to gain your footing back after a period where you've been knocked off the horse, so to speak, you got to know that you got somewhere to go. You have got to know in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul that I can't stay here. And that's the motivator for me to get back up and get back in line, to get back up and get back moving. We can easily stay stuck in our yesterday, but I think another thing that has allowed me to propel forward is to examine those that are around me. Because in different seasons of your life, sis, the truth is everybody that's there for certain seasons may not be qualified to enter into that new season. And as you are being restored, you have to examine the atmosphere. You have to examine
Mm,
those that are connected to you. You have to examine those that are speaking in your hearing, those that may be really not your cheerleader but hanging around to see what's next for you. You have to examine it, and then you have to be okay walking alone if that's what it takes. You have to be okay making new relationships. You have to be okay with embracing whatever next
right,
looks like. You have to be okay.
right.
Yeah, you do.
Most definitely. But so when you're talking about those people that are in your space and that are not qualified or whatever, it brings to mind the whole capacity thing. Some of us are actually disappointed because we gave charges to people who didn't have the capacity to fulfill them. So we gave titles and we gave positions in our lives and we gave spaces of vulnerability to people who really didn't have the capacity to hold us in that moment, the capacity to even understand that place. And we get that place of devastation. We get that place of brokenness because we never took the time to really actually see, do they really have the capacity? Because I may love you,
Mm,
we may be good and vibe real good, but that doesn't mean you hold the capacity of the season I'm in. It doesn't mean you hold the capacity of my vulnerable places. When God is breaking me, when God is shaking me, everybody don't have the capacity to see that. Everybody doesn't hold the capacity to even understand the process, because the truth of the matter is sometimes I don't understand the process.
mhm,
But I definitely got to be very careful when we're talking about, being upset because we're not friends anymore, being upset because we don't vibe anymore. Y'all do know we can disconnect and not be nasty. We can disconnect and realize that, okay, this season, as you said, you just don't have the capacity for my next. You don't have this the you don't have the experience, or you don't even have the right to be in there. But it's okay. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying that you ain't worth nothing. I'm just saying where I am going, you're just not there yet to dwell with me in this season. And so, how do you break away when you're emotional and make sure that you don't tell them how to not be nasty, that you can break away clean?
yeah. Yeah, that is so powerful and so real. I think first of all, we get stuck in friendships and seasons of friendships because we misappropriate them, like you said. We begin oftentimes we will label someone as a friend and they're really an assignment. We will label people things that they are not meant to be in our lives, like you said, nor do they have the capacity to house us at that next level. And so breaking up, or I don't want to say breaking up, creating distance between relationships, is you have to be strategic because everybody can't handle that. I think for me, communication is key. I'm the same way all the time, and people will tell you that. They will tell you literally, if I want to know the truth, I can ask Shelly Carter Burton. She's going to tell me the truth, especially if she cares about me. I
Mhm.
think when we have to disengage friendships, or have the friendship at a different level, or at a distance, the communication and the level of that you extend to that person speaks volumes about how much you really care about them. And as a woman, we sit on an emotional seat. Let's just be real. Okay, we look for opportunities for people to offend us. Let's be honest. But the truth is, uh, um, everybody can't enter into every season of your life. Now, there are friends that have been lifelong friends, and God has sent them there to be just that. But sis, there are times that people become a weight, and you can no longer carry them. Or there are times that there are those that are connected to you, and you really have to say to them, with this friendship, let me create these boundaries because we can't go the next mile together. I think that communication is key. Some people may get mad, but it is so important that if you really understand that where God is taking you, He will also provide the next level of people that can help you get to where you're going,
Yeah.
or execute that gift even the more, all those things. The problem is we misappropriate the conversation, and we begin to say negative things because
Mm.
we feel like we can't break the relationship. And I'm just telling you that I don't I have about 5 friends that I call friends. I'm going to be like friends. Then I have friends that are sisters, right? And then
Mhm.
I have friends that I know I connect to for ministry. And that are ministry friends. I can call and say, "Hey, what would you do in this case?" You understand what I'm saying? I think it's so important to identify why they are in your life. Then you don't get caught up in the, oh, well, so I'm being taken in another direction and they're going to be upset. No, you're okay with it because you know where you're going and you know what they were there for.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
But that's the key is, but that leads into the segue of, if you don't spend time with you, you don't know.
ooh, that's so powerful.
So brings you to the segue of, if you don't spend the proper time with you really don't know whether or not that person was an assignment, whether or not that person belongs in this season. In order for you to identify them, you got to know you. And many of us have fallen short because we don't know us. Now, we have the subtopic to this is, I'm more than what they see. We've allowed people to put us in a box.
Hmm.
That's right. My mentee just said, sit with yourself. That's my motto. Sometimes you just got to sit with yourself. You got not on the phone, not talking it through with somebody. Sometimes you just got to sit with you. You and God, just sit with you. And when you learn yourself, then I can actually begin to actually break that box that everybody has put me in. Because a lot of people have put you in a box for multiple reasons. Some people put you in a box because they don't want you higher than them. Some people put you in a box because this is your lineage, so this is where you're supposed to be. Some people have put you in a box simply because they mean well, but they think you should be there. But you have to get to a place that you know you so well between you and your God that you can actually identify. No, you know what? She not meant for this season. She good. We can talk every now and then. Hey, honey, how you doing? You all right? We can talk good, but she not the one that when I'm in trouble I need to call. She not the one that when I'm on consecration I need to talk to. You know, she not the one that when God has really got me back on that potter's wheel, I don't need to interact with her. But when you know you, when you sit with yourself, you know that God, this box that they created you in, is not what God has for you. You know that the connections that you made, because let's be truthful. Some of us made connections because we thought that's what we had to do.
Listen.
Let's be truthful. Some of us made connections. We got in relationships, friendships, and everything because we thought that's what we were supposed to do. We thought that that was a good thing. That was a popular thing. I need to connect with them because I'm a preacher, so I need to connect with them. Or, I'm a singer, so I need to connect with them. Oh, I'm a wife, so I need to connect with this couple. Or, I'm single, so let me hang out with this single girl or whatever. And sometimes we make connections off of a feeling,
Wow.
or a momentary emotional feeling. We have made the connections because we thought we had to. But if we actually sit back and think about it, yes, it's good that if I'm married to have married friends, but that don't mean I got to connect to the first married couple that I vibe with.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that the first married couple that we can actually laugh and joke and have a conversation was the couple that I was supposed to connect with. That might just been a one-time thing.
Right.
Well, how do you break yourself from the connections once you make them connections and you realize, oops, I don't think I was supposed to do that. How do you restore yourself? Get back out of that thing you connected to when you realize, oh, I just did something. How do I get out of this?
Not to sound churchy or anything like that, because we've all made connections with people that we are like, why did I do that? And that was the wrong thing for me to do. But the reality of it is, the safest place is in the master's hands. So if you kind of pull yourself out and go into God, go into prayer so that God can show you and why that was not good for you, then you'll begin to understand what he spared you from. Because those relationships, let me just tell you, that are not good for us are a setup for major failure. And what we have to understand is that if there's really more to us than what people see, then there are multiple yeses at different levels that we'll have to say to the God that created us. And in those multiple yeses, it cannot be a yes on your own terms, right? And as you go back to seek God, to pull away from certain things and to pull closer to him while you are becoming, we've got to understand literally that it's important. I tell my mentees this, to leverage your difference.
Ooh,
Your difference. There is something unique about the more that's in you that somebody needs. But if you never identify it, it can never be productive. It can never produce. The nation that's assigned to your difference will never respond because you have not acknowledged your difference. So the truth is, when people connect to us, can I just be honest?
yes.
People connect to us, sis, they really connect to us because of an outward appearance instead of our heart. Okay. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
dress nice. She can preach. She can do this. She looked like she got it together. Her marriage looks like it is wonderful. People connect, mostly women, based on what they see from an outward appearance. The word even says it. But the reality of it is, we got to stop chasing things that look good, like the bag, and we got to be. We got to become. We've got to stop chasing the material. And even in people, even in relationships, what can people do for you? How can people process you for the next platform? How can people put you in a position to be better? We've got to stop building relationships or even reaching for relationships just for that reason. We've got to know that there are divine connections that God has assigned to us to help us do whatever we need to do. So every connection is not a God connection. Notice I did not say good, I said God. And the only connections that are really going to prove what the more is inside of us are those that He has assigned. And so, plenty of times, we don't even go before Him to say, how much should I let this person in?
Yes.
How should I bring them? How much should I share with them? What should I reveal to them? All of those things. The problem is that women are carriers. So we will end up taking everybody on like we can handle it all. And then end up understanding that they were never supposed to be housed in our heart, but we put them there. So now it's hard to break it off.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It is. And so to dig more deep, even as you begin to talk about that, look, a lot of people have made connections. And let me just be frank. A lot of people have made connections to me simply because of a look.
Yeah.
A lot of people have made connections to me because they know I'm a giver. Or they've made connections to me because they know I'm going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Or they've made connections to me because of my lineage. And when we talk about that, I'm more than what people see. Oftentimes, people have already summed me up.
Yeah.
And already I said what they thought. But here's my question. Who gave the anointing a look? Who said that the power only has one look?
Wow.
Who said, and don't get me wrong, I'm not shortchanging myself. I know the anointing I possess, I know the power I possess, but I hear too often that people say they struggle with actually standing up for who they are and who God created them to be and walking in their divine purpose because they've been told they don't look like this. They don't look like they're anointed. And last time I checked, I there's no one set look on the anointing, because when you say I'm more than what you see, there's a process that I made look real good. Let me say that again.
Listen.
There is a process that I've gone through that I made look real good. You have literally, people have literally said, oh, you're not going through anything. No, I just learned how to go through well.
Yes.
It's not that I have not endured anything, because I've endured being at the break of a total depression. I've endured, suffering from severe liver failure and not sure whether or not I was going to make it. I've literally, and still preaching and still serving, but barely could stand. No, I just gone through well. And what we have to understand is that person that may not dress the way you think may house the very power and anointing that may break you free, but because they don't look it, or they don't have the platform, or they don't have the following, or they don't have the name, or they go to the storefront church, or they don't go to the big church, and we will consider them, we will put them and say they're not them. But here's what I'm saying to everybody listening. You are more than what people see. The power and anointing that God has placed inside of you, the reason why you struggle so hard is because it's so strong. The reason why you battle so much is because it's so strong. But we have got to get away from this judging something. The old folks, you say, don't judge a book by its cover. But my thing is, we have judged a lot.
Yeah.
We have judged a lot. And then, and I'm going to ask you if you feel this. Not only have you put a look onto it, but now you've given me a certain level of expectation. Because of the look that you have put a level of expectation on me that don't belong to you. So now you're expecting something from me that God never told me I had to give to you.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with the level of expectation that you receive off of a look?
Wow. Wow. First of all, that whole conversation right there. I mean, that is a whole story in and of itself. And I will say that goes both ways, because there are those that are anointed but does not dress like the typical long skirt, cotton stockings. I'm that one that people have come against because of it. But then there are those that maybe sit in the back seat, and literally have the power of God that rests on them, and people ignore them. People will not invite them. People will not speak well of them. I honestly feel like that preachers or women, period, are you know people look at the look, and they patronize the look, and ignore the anointing. I really feel that. Here's the thing right here. There are so many powerful women of God that are up and coming in this day and time that people overlook. And so they really are working overtime to be seen when they don't have to, because the Bible says that their gift will make room for them. The truth is, they might not be discovered in Baltimore. They may be discovered abroad or on Clubhouse or wherever the case may be. But the reality of it is, they've got to become comfortable in their own skin. And I think that is the thing that even I struggle with, becoming who I am, and I'm still becoming. And at times I still struggle with who God says to me that I am, because people will size you up. People will look you up and down. People will ignore you and throw you shade. But you got to know that what I'm working with is specified and assigned to me by the hand of God. Just that simple. I'm the best me that I can be. And I like that you wearing your own garb today, sis. Listen, promote you. And that's the thing we don't do. We don't do. We don't promote ourselves lest people say, oh, she's conceited, or she's arrogant, or all of those things. But when you are comfortable in who God has called you to be, it's okay to pat yourself in the back and say, you did that just like God wanted you to. You showed up just like He wanted you to. You've got to be comfortable in your own skin. We get enough flack in the world. We get enough flack all over because the world declares that men are to lead, women are to be seen, women are to be quiet, all of those things. So why is it that amongst ourselves we got to struggle showing up? Just show up, sis. Just come
Listen.
forward, sis. Like, you are who you are. You are who you are. And I think we've also gotten into this slump of feeling like everybody's jealous or everybody wants something that we have. That is not so. That is not so. I have met some of the most anointed women, and they don't care about that. They just want authentic relationship. And so I think that as we are becoming and recognizing all that God has deposited in us, we just got to be. We can't look at who ignores us and who flips their hand at us and who doesn't invite us. We just got to show up. Like,
Listen.
show up. Be present. Be present. I don't know. I don't care about that stuff. I do what God calls me to do. And when He finishes, I sit down and I'm okay with it because I know that that is what He has assigned me to do. Big or small, not
Big and small.
small, I'm good, you know?
Listen, I agree, but I got to share two comments that are in the comment section. First of all, Madison said Pastor Shelley looks so pretty.
Oh, is that my Patty?
Yes.
Oh, thank
Madison
you,
said Pastor Shelley looks so pretty. And listen, the coach that I am pushing all the way, Coach Leslie is on here, and her motto being.
Yes.
And let me tell you something, that is such a profound thing because we have gotten so uncomfortable with being. We have gotten so uncomfortable because it's easier to be something somebody wants me to be than to just be who I was created to be. And I said this earlier today. The reason why I'm wearing me, I could have put on Nike, I could have put on Jordan or whatever. But today, I really got the revelation is that I am so pumped about what God placed in me and what He gave me that's the best thing I can wear. That's the best thing that I can be. And so it's ironic that you said that because God literally has me now saying, wear your stuff. Yes. The stuff that I gave you or whatever. I only had, and at first I only had one t-shirt that had my logo on it.
Wow.
But of course I got every kind of other shirt and every kind of like that. And God was like, okay, well, when you going to wear some more of you? And as I begin to navigate through uncharted waters that I've never experienced and learn the more of me in this season, because that's a whole nother story. I'm learning me in this season. The me of old season doesn't exist anymore. I'll say that again. Somebody needs to hear that. The me of old season doesn't exist anymore. So I am learning how to navigate the me in this season, because the me in this season is a result of all the other stuff that I went through.
Yes.
The me in this season is a result of everything that was birthed out of what was supposed to destroy me. So me in this season, we don't think the same.
Wow.
Me in this season, we don't walk the same. Me in this season don't even act the same. Matter of fact, me in this season don't even pay attention to stuff anymore. You know, so I am so focused on navigating this to where I want to be more than what I see.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna catch that.
Yeah.
I now want to embrace the more than what I see, because sometimes, and I'm trying to help somebody, because you probably look and think that we don't do. So let me be honest. Sometimes I struggle with what God has given me, and how to fully embrace that and be okay 100% with me. So I still have those days where I'm like, nah, God, you know, I'm a shrink back. I'm all right, you know, or whatever. And he's like, that's not what I called you to do in this season. And so I'm telling somebody that's listening, even now, I want to tell myself, you're more than what you see. Wow. And some of y'all need to tell yourself, I'm talking to all the, some of y'all need to look in the mirror and literally look in the mirror and say, you know what? Girl, you are more than what you see.
Absolutely.
And because and you know, so I asked you that question. Do you ever feel that moment where you just like, God, I know you're doing something, but I'm just still trying to figure out, are you really doing this? You know, should I not? You know, everybody doing this. But I know you told me, I heard you clearly. Should do you ever struggle navigating the you see?
Yeah, my God. I absolutely do, more often than not. But there is something in me that is so committed to fulfilling the assignment that he's assigned to me, that I know that somebody's waiting for it. And no matter what I'm feeling like on the inside, I'm just like, I'm just going to do it. If it's just me, I'm going to do it. If I'm the only one that shows up to hear myself talk, I'm going to do it. It is not as easy as you think sometimes. And the truth is, a lot of encouragement and affirmations and all of those things I still do every single day. When I'm teaching my grandbaby affirmations, I'm saying them myself, because the truth is, we don't always feel like we're on a mountaintop. And people need to understand that. Though we've endured much, there are still moments of reservation that we feel like, okay, can I really accomplish this? You know, it is funny that you say that, because my my marketing guy asked me all of these questions one day. And I was stumped, because they were personal questions about me, so that he knows how to fully market what it is that we're doing next. I had to sit with myself after that, sis. And I'm like, if I can't describe me, if I can't explain me and what God is telling me to do to him, then what am I doing? What is going on? So it has awakened something in me that I've got to be okay being me and being authentically who God has called me to be. And I think that's where we struggle, because we're always gauging. We're always looking at the next person, like you said, saying, well, they're doing that, but I know I'm supposed to do that. Should I do it now? Should I do it later? There's always a gauge. But the best thing that I can say is submit and be obedient. Submit and be obedient. The issue really, sis, is the fact that many of us go fulfill opportunities still wounded from past issues, still insecure from times before, still struggling with abandonment and resentment and all those things. And those things come back in times like these, when it's ready, when it's time for you to launch, when it's
Listen,
time for you to fly, when it's time for you to spread your wings. Those things come back. If you don't deal with you and the self deliverance part, you can't get to where you are trying to go, because that will always follow you and pull on you. For real.
Absolutely. And three words came to mind, just as you said it, was there has to be acknowledgement. We got to face it, and then we got to release it. We got to acknowledge it. We got to face it. Then we got to release it. We got to acknowledge it. We got to face it. Then we got to release it. Most of us don't do step number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if we do step number one, we acknowledge that it happened, but we don't want to face it.
Yeah.
Because face it means that I got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Facing it means it's a reality that I now have to deal with it. It's not just a figment of my imagination. It's not something off. It's now up close and personal. But sometimes you need to acknowledge it, face it, and release it. That's the only way that you can move it. Acknowledge it, face it, and release it. Because it's like Pastor Shelley said, it will come up at the time that you just on cloud nine and you think that you just about to soar. And it will knock the very wind out of you and come back full force. Ask me how I know. Been there.
Listen.
And so now I take time. That's why I always teach my men, sit in it. I sit with me so much that I don't let stuff linger anymore.
Good for you.
So if I'm struggling with it, then you know what, God, man, you gotta have a talk. Cause this right here, I don't want to do it like I used to do it. I used to hold it in, be like, all right, I'm just gonna press my way through. It's okay. Nope. All right. It happened this week. I want to deal with it this week. I don't want to deal with this next week. So I sit with it. And you have to be so okay with facing what has bothered you, what has broken you, what has wounded you, or whatever. And it goes back to what Pastor Sally said earlier. And it sometimes means you got to have a conversation you don't want to have. Because sometimes the release only happens with a conversation. And listen, you also got to be willing to have, listen to this, y'all. You got to be willing to have a conversation, not expecting that person to apologize, but a conversation that just releases off of you. You got to be because that's why you got to acknowledge it, face it. Then you can release it, because when you talk to them, it's just releasing it out of you. Yeah. Even if they never agree with it, guess what? Move on. It's okay. But let me tell you, I am so super excited about what God is doing inside of me that I refuse to allow what happened in the past to taint what God can do in the future. Because some of us are walking on eggshells, walking in real slow like a snail, because the past keeps cycling over in our mind. And so we keep thinking something else going to happen. We keep thinking that, oh, I'm going to step out here and I'm going to fail, or I'm going to step out here and I'm going to fall. Listen, she said it earlier. Y'all know I said it earlier today. If it's only 10 people, if those 10 people are the people God assigned for me to release to, I celebrated 2 years of lunchtime empowerment talks with Dr. Bond earlier today. And I told her, listen, I'm excited. But I told him, I don't care if 5 people show up. Every Tuesday at 1:00, we're at lunchtime empowerment talks with Dr. Bond. And the minute that I thought it wasn't important, I did not do it for like 3 weeks. After my dad passed, I just got in a slump. And mama was sick and we were and so I didn't. I was like, oh, they not going, we only been doing it for a little less than a year. They ain't going to remember nothing. When I started getting inboxes from people to actually say to me, wait a minute, we're not doing lunchtime empowerment talks no more. It let me know that God said to me, even if that one person is waiting for you to show up, you need to show up for that one person, because that one person, when she get healed and she get what she need, she going to help somebody else. And it's going to keep going. Like that seed is just going to keep growing. We got to stop being so consumed about whether or not it's 50 people that show up, or whether or not it's a 500 audience or whatever. Just be okay with doing what God called you to do. I'm just okay with me.
Yeah.
Listen. And I guess that's like you said, sometimes if I'm preaching to myself, listen, I'm all right. You just got to be okay with you. And so this dynamic, and I hope you guys are being strengthened and empowered through the nuggets and the conversation that we are having, because I want you to see an organic conversation, nothing scripted or anything, an organic conversation between 2 women who can support each other who can empower each other, who can say, hey, this is a good thing, or hey, this is a good thing, or hey, try this, or hey, try that, or you know what, I'm praying for you, and I'm genuinely praying, P-R-A-Y and not P-R-E-Y. I am genuinely, and because this is what we need to see, y'all. This is why I do this, is because I want us to build a culture where we actually realize we don't have to be in competition.
Not at all.
Why am I saying that? Because I believe that my big sister is more than what she sees. Why? I believe what she's birthing is bigger than what she thought it was. That's just how I believe for the people that I love. That's just how I believe for the people that I'm connected to. I'm always believing bigger for them. I'm always believing, you know what, hey, yeah, that's cute, but you got something else, go ahead. Or whatever the case may be. And so as I segue into that, I want you to share with them some of the things that God has given you. You know what, because there's different legs. Listen, here's the yes. I told you earlier, here's the yes, but there are different legs to the yes. The yes is up here, but there are different legs. Some of us don't have just one leg to a yes. Some of us got a yes that got 5 and 6 legs to it. We got to be responsible for after this yes. And so share with the people some of the things that you have going on, Pastor Shelley.
Yes, sure. First of all, I'm just honored. I'm honored to be who I am in this day and this hour. But my husband and I pastor a phenomenal ministry in Baltimore City, Changing Lives Ministries of Baltimore. We've been pastoring for 8 years now, and we're very excited about what God is doing in our ministry. He is opening up doors in many ways. Soon to come, you guys will hear that. The Lord also spoke to me over 7 years ago. Actually, it was probably about 8 years ago, about initiating a prayer call in the morning for women called Wailing Women's Prayer Line. And literally, the prayer call has changed into a mandate Monday, where we mandate words over our life for the week and watch it form, into Testimony Tuesday, where we share what the Lord has done based on the prayers that we've spoken. Word Wednesday, to deposit into the women that they might not just get a word on Sunday, but a word to get through the rest of the week. We spend time with friends. Dr. Shavana has been on our Wailing Women line, and we're going to get her again too. They enjoyed her. But no, seriously, the Lord has given so many things for us to do in the way of ministries. I also am blessed to have survived breast cancer. And so you will see this year some new things that I'm launching for breast cancer survivors, their families, all of those things. Check out my website if you get a chance at SCB Ministries. And just look at some of the things. I initiated a t-shirt line so that people can become comfortable wearing what it is that God has assigned to them. So right now, what's really pushing is the gifts line, and everybody's wearing their gift on their tee. And so it also reminds them that they are called to bigger, and they're called to more in God. And so all I'm trying to say is that God will do a multiplicity of things, even when you think you are nothing. If you just avail yourself to God and not look so much at man and what they say and all those things, He will do so many great things for and through you. And so more to come. Some things I can't expose at this moment, but more to come. So thank you, sis, for seeing beyond where I am. I'm so
yes. I am super excited. I told you guys, the people I'm connected to are doing some amazing things. And so I am super honored just that my big sister could come out and hang out with me tonight. Listen, it's amazing just to see God manifest things in the lives of the people that you love. It's amazing. And I'm grateful that I just get to sit by and I get to smile and watch it and everything. And so listen, her website is right underneath of her name. You can see it right there. I want y'all to head on over to the website, check out the merchandise that is there. Make sure you look up everything. And so, as you know, I am still in celebration mode. And so, since I'm in celebration mode, earlier today, the Lord blew my mind. I was talking to Pastor Shelley before we came on. as I was talking about our empowerment brunch that is happening on Saturday, May the 14th, and begin to actually talk about it, give the information. One lady literally said, I can't be there. I really want to be there. So you know what? I'm a sponsor a ticket to somebody who can't go. Immediately when I said, hey, and if anybody can't afford to go, inbox me and you can have that ticket. Next thing I know, somebody else said, I'll sponsor one too. Then a third person said, I'll sponsor another one. And then literally the next thing I know, a lady was like, you know what? I'll sponsor 5. The
Wow.
Lord just told me to sponsor 5. And so it blew my mind. And I'm not going to cry again because I cried earlier. But it blew my mind just to see the hand of God manifesting the promise that he spoke. He told me if I just did it, he would do everything else. And not only is he putting the people in the room, but he is allowing people to sow into it. And so I say that to say, if anybody else is on here, I have 2 tickets left that are sponsored. If in fact you cannot afford to come to the Restore Your Roar Empowerment Brunch on Saturday, May the 14th, if you cannot afford it, please inbox me. Don't be ashamed. Listen, if you need to be in the room and you can't afford it, let's get you in the room. And so I am so honored. And again, I give glory and honor to God just for blowing our minds the way he has. And I know that this is only the beginning, because listen, the whole Restore Your Roar Empowerment Brunch, literally the sub theme to it is I came out with something to say.
Wow.
Simply, I came out with something to say. And each and every one of you that are on here, whatever you've come out of, you didn't come out of to be quiet. You didn't come out of to be silenced. You came out of with something to say. God has given you a story of victory to say it. I challenge you to share it with somebody. You don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to have a platform. Look at the person in your office and tell them about it. Talk to the person that's at your church is sitting on the back row that don't nobody talk to. Go tell them about it. Anybody. Tell it to your family members, cousins, sister, girlfriends. Nail salon. Tell it to your nail tech. I told my nail tech the other day. She was like, "You always got a victory." So I sure do. You want another one? I got another one. I got a whole bunch of them. And so I love you, each and every one of you. And listen, Pastor Shelley, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me tonight. It's been amazing. And the ladies are all in the chat. I hope you can go back and look. They're all in the chat. Everybody has been grateful for the nuggets. There are 3 things I want. Pastor Shelley said it, so I wrote them down, and I want you to take them home with you. The first thing she said, y'all know I believe in takeaways. That's my motto, is a takeaway. So the first thing she said is, you got to know that you have somewhere to go. Okay? The first thing she said that I wrote down, you got to know that you got somewhere to go. So somebody, in case you ain't write it down now. You got to know that you got somewhere to go. The second thing she said is, everybody can't enter every season of your life. Did you hear me? She said, everybody can't enter every season of your life. I say that one more time. Everybody can't enter every season of your life. And then she said, you can't say yes on your terms. This is not a yes on your terms. This is not a yes on your terms. Did you hear what I said? This is not a yes on your terms. And the fourth one, because I wrote it down, I think I just want to share it. She also said, there's multiple yes on different levels. So you don't just say yes one time. So for one of y'all that said you said yes 10 years ago, we're in a new season. Go back and tell God yes again. You're going to have to go back. Trust me. He's going to pull you back. You got to go back. She said there are multiple yes on different levels. Because trust me, the yes I gave God when I first started preaching definitely ain't the yes I'm giving him right now. Did you hear what I'm saying? I'm being honest. Because I didn't even know I was saying yes for real back then. Like the yes that I said, yeah, God, I preach, is not the yes that I'm giving him right now. So as always, take them away, tuck them with you, but meditate on them. Let them become a part of you, and make sure you head on over down to Pastor Shelley's website. It's right there, www scbministries.com. Head on over there. Grab you some merchandise. And I love you too, Maddie Pool. Y'all my best friend is on here. Y'all know that's my best friend. Yeah. She on here. Y'all know I be always talking about listen, get on the prayer call. Woohoo. That wall shadows room. Don't be listening to it at work because it might get you in trouble.
Mm-mm.
But listen, I love y'all. Listen, you are more than what you see. You are more than what they see. Now, just be comfortable and just be. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself and just be. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Just let God do the work. You just submit and He'll do the rest of it.
Amen.
I'm trying to teach you what I know because I was trying to figure it out. So I'm just trying to help you, save you some trouble. So just submit and God got you. So I love you all. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing evening. And love on yourself tonight. And listen, we'll see you back for She's More Now Connectional Resource the end of next month. And we'll be posting in a couple of weeks. We'll post our guests for that one. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening.